So as I said, I'm just recording the class today for some people who would like to do the class but who aren't able to. So it'll only be on me. So let's start tonight in a seated position, just finding a comfortable position, arriving on your mat, arriving in your body, settling to the mat, feeling the connection of whatever's touching the mat. If it's your shins, the tops of your feet, reaching your spine up tall towards the ceiling. And just starting to deepen the breath. Remembering to leave anything that's happened today before you've arrived on your mat outside the door for the time being, and just giving yourself this time to be with yourself, to connect, to breathe, to soften. Perhaps placing your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly, closing down the eyes if you haven't already done so. And just become curious of the breath, breathing you from the inside out. Feeling the belly rise as you inhale and fall as you exhale. Maybe noticing the calming, softening effect of being with yourself when you breathe. Taking 2 more breaths in this way. Noticing the oceanic rhythm of the breath. Just like the waves rising and falling. One more. After your next exhale, just placing your palms into your lap, palms facing upwards. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And then slowly blinking open the eyes. From there, we'll inhale our arms out to the side and up overhead. Fingers touching lightly overhead. And as we exhale, we'll twist to the right, left hand to the outside of the right thigh, right fingertips touching the ground behind you. Inhale to sit up tall, and then exhale to twist. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale to twist. Keeping your left hand where it is, sweep your right arm up and over your right ear. So holding onto the outside of your right thigh to give you traction to reach your left arm up and across your ear. As if you're opening your armpit to the ceiling. And then inhale, coming back down. swapping sides. So right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left fingertips behind you. Inhale first to sit up tall, reaching the top of your head to the ceiling. And then exhaling to twist. One more. Inhaling to grow tall. Exhaling to soften. Keeping your right hand where it is. Coming back to center. Reaching your left arm up and over. Holding on to that left thigh as you reach your arm across. And then inhale, coming back. Bringing your hands in front of you, intertwining the fingers, turning them inside out towards the front of the room, and then round your upper back as if you're trying to separate your shoulder blades as wide as you can. And then inhale to sit up tall, reaching your palms up to the ceiling, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, rounding your spine to the back of the room, palms reach forward, belly to spine, chin maybe tucks towards the chest. Inhale, reaching up as if you're going to stamp your palms onto the ceiling, nice. And then letting the fingers float apart, bringing them down and behind your back and intertwining your hands behind your back. Rounding the shoulders up and then away from your ears. And then see if you can lift your fingers or your palms away from your lower back, opening through the chest, nice. Taking a breath here and letting that go. We'll come over onto all fours for our cat-cow. Hands under the shoulders. Knees under the hips, so spreading the fingers wide, palms flat on the floor. Inhale to drop the belly towards the mat, curling the sit bones up, opening the chest to the front of the room. And then exhaling, chin towards the chest, rounding the upper back, curling the hips in towards the tummy. Two more like that. Inhaling to open out. Exhaling to round up for cat pose. Chin to chest. Inhale to drop the belly to the mat. Into your cow pose. Exhaling, rounding your back up towards the ceiling. Coming back to a neutral spine, we'll just step the left hand forward, one hand print, and inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then we'll thread the needle, right arm under left. Deciding what you'll do with your left hand, maybe it will stay flat on the ground, or maybe you'll bring it behind your back into a half bind. If you take the half bind option, try and open your top shoulder towards the ceiling. And then just breathe into this shape. After the next exhale, left hand down, sweeping the right arm up and bringing it back to the mat, nice. Right hand, one hand print forward, coming into the other side, left arm up, threading the needle. Deciding what to do with your right hand, keeping it where it is or sweeping it behind your back. Just taking 2 breaths here. Feeling the connection of your body to the earth and the feeling of the breath breathing you from the inside. And then right hand back to the earth. Left arm sweeps up, opens out. And exhaling back to all fours. Start to keep your hips where they are and just walk your fingertips forward, hammocking your chest towards the earth. No forcing, just really nice shape if you've been sitting all day, opening up through the back and the heart. Taking 2 deep breaths here. Letting yourself become heavy on the exhale. And after your next exhale, starting to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. So we'll come onto our elbows and we'll take our left elbow to our right, our left palm to our right elbow and our right palm to our left elbow, and then bring the shoulders over the elbows. And then step yourself back into a plank pose. So we're rounding up through the upper back. You can be on your knees if that feels better. But just feeling this feeling, pulling the lower belly into towards the spine and zipping up from your ankles all the way up your body. And then knees to the mat, hands to the mat, coming up into a kneeling shape. So just make sure you've got 2 fist distances between your knees, and then come into your kneeling shape. We're going to take our arms out to a T and bring our right arm under our left, holding onto the wrist or the palms. And then inhale, lifting the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Give a little squeeze to the glutes. And then as we exhale, just curling through the upper back, bringing the elbows towards the belly button. Everything else stays as it is. Inhale to open up. Maybe squeezing the glutes, opening through the front of the hips. Maybe leaning back a little bit, taking the wrists over your head. Maybe not. Meeting your body where it is today and being perfectly fine wherever that is. Inhale, coming back to center. Releasing the arms, giving them a bit of a shake, and then left under right. So find your shape here. Inhale to lift the hands up towards the ceiling, elbows lift up, squeeze the forearms together. Exhale, leaning over to the right. Inhale, coming up to center. Exhale, leaning over to the left. Inhale up. One more each side, over to the right, as if you've got a big fit ball underneath your right waist. Inhale, coming up. Exhaling, other side. Inhale, lifting up, releasing the arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe leaning the arms back behind you a little bit, relaxing the neck, belly to spine. And then exhaling, hands to the mat. A few cat-cows. Moving organically, you can move the hips from side to side. Just noticing where your body wants that movement today. And then we're going to tuck the toes. Spread the hands and the fingers wide on the mat and feel the weight in your first row of knuckles. Round through the upper back and then lift your hips up as if someone's got a hook on your pants and is lifting you up from the hips, tilting the hips up towards the ceiling. Big bend in the knees. You can experiment with your shape. So you can try and walk your feet in a step or two and notice if that feels any better in your shape. And then when you're there, bending one knee, bending the other, and coming to stillness. Letting the head be heavy and long towards the ground. Feel like it's a weight on your spine. So your hips are tilting up at the ceiling and your head is hanging towards the ground. So you're lengthening the spine between. Making sure that the knees are bent so that you're always supporting the lower back. And then pushing through the right hand, start to bring the left hand to the outside of your right ankle or your thigh, wherever it feels comfortable. So you're pushing out through the right hand. That's still in down dog, but you're just bringing your left hand wherever you can, twisting, maybe looking under your armpit. One more breath here. And then exhale, replacing your left hand, pushing yourself away from your left hand, bringing your right hand to your ankle, your shin, your thigh. You decide, using that grip to look under your left armpit, keeping your hips up behind you. And then exhaling, both hands to the mat. Bending the knees. Starting to walk your hands back towards your feet. And coming into a forward fold. So you can hold on to opposite elbows here. Maybe move your body from side to side. Keeping a bend in the knees. Trying to bring your belly to your thighs. And just taking 2 breaths here in your forward fold. You can keep your eyes closed if that feels good for you. Making sure you're feeling the weight in your heels and the front of your feet, the balls of your feet. On the next inhale, bringing the fingertips either to the mat or to your ankles, we're going to inhale to halfway lift, looking forward, and then exhale to fold. Inhale, bending the knees, slowly rolling yourself up, chin to chest. Arms come out to the side. Sweep overhead. Maybe watch them touch gently and then bringing your hands to heart center. Bringing your thumbs to your chest bone. Maybe starting to connect with your heartbeat. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then exhale, bringing your hands to the side, palms facing forward. Opening the eyes. And then we're going to inhale into our chair pose. So arms lift up alongside the ears. Make sure that you can see your toes. So bring your hips back a little bit. Make sure your toes are not clenching the ground. And then exhale your hands to heart center. Inhale, twisting over to the right. So you're bringing your left elbow outside your right knee. And then have a feel of your hips and make sure that they're not swinging out to the left, that you are bringing your hips directly behind your body. So just, yes, beautiful. So the twist's coming from your waist. And then looking down at the mat, bring the weight into the right foot. See if you can bring the left heel towards your butt. And maybe you're going to extend the left foot out behind you. Very nice. And when you're ready, stepping your left foot back to meet your right, coming into a forward fold and letting that all just hang there. Just noticing how this forward fold feels. Maybe there's a little bit more space from when we first started the class. Trying to bring your belly to your thighs. So bending your knees as much as you need to bring your belly to your thighs. Very nice. And then slowly starting the journey up, chin to chest, curling yourself up one vertebra at a time. Sweeping the arms out to the side, up overhead, and exhaling your hands back to heart center. Thumbs to the chest bone, closing down the eyes, softening the shoulders. Just noticing if you can connect here with the heartbeat. Blinking open the eyes. This time, heel toe the feet together so that the big toes touch and the heels are out slightly. And then coming into your chair pose, twisting to the other side. So I actually hold on to my left thigh, twist my right elbow around, and then join my palms. So if that works for you, go for it. Pushing the palms together to lift the belly off the mat and swinging that right hip behind so the hips are even behind you. Taking a breath here. And then looking down at the mat, weight into the left foot, Start to grow light on the right foot, maybe bringing that right foot, the heel to your hip. And there might be a little wobbly here, playing with balance, but just keep the eyes soft and the gaze steady. And then maybe you're going to extend the right leg behind you. Engaging the right leg if you've extended it. Floppy legs are heavy legs. Engaged limbs are much lighter. And when you've had enough, bringing both feet to meet and just exhaling back into a forward fold. Taking an inhale here. Exhaling through the mouth, letting it go. Inhale, walking yourself back to the front of the mat. Hands to the front of the mat, knees to the mat. And bring yourself into a seated position on your mat. Very nice work. Extending your legs in front of you. You can have them a bit wide if you wish to. We're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, reaching forward for the front of the room. Pull the belly to the spine. and reach forward first so that you can feel the lower back extending. And then float your fingertips to the earth and round yourself in. Chin to chest. Taking 4 more deep breaths here. Softening everything so you can have your knees slightly softened. Just really folding into yourself. On the next breath, inhaling your way up. Using your hands to bring your legs together. And then we're going to roll back. So if you're sitting on a block, remove the block. We're going to roll ourselves back, one vertebra at a time. Don't let your shoulders touch the earth when you get there. As soon as you feel your shoulders coming towards the earth, pushing through the heels, inhale, rolling yourself back up. As if someone's holding onto your hand. Nice. One more like that. Exhale. So really exaggerating the curve of the back to roll down. Inhale, coming back up. This time we'll roll down slowly as you can. Belly to spine, chin to chest. All the way down. As you exhale, letting the palms face up to the ceiling. Feet splay out to the side. Taking a breath here. And letting it go. Bending your knees so that your heels are underneath your knees. Feet facing forward. Hands flat on the mat. Pushing through the feet. Start to round your hips up for your bridge pose. Make sure your knees and your feet are facing the same direction. Squeezing the glutes to lift the hips up. One more breath here. Exhaling to lower. Upper, mid, lower back. Let the knees knock together. And then separating the knees again, we'll do one more. So start with the tuck of the pelvis. Lifting the pelvis off the mat like a rolling wave. One vertebra at a time to come up. Making sure the neck is relaxed. And then exhaling, coming all the way down. One vertebra at a time. Keeping the knees hip width apart. Bring the arms out to a T and just let your knees drop over towards the left. Your arms are out to a T. Just let your legs relax into that shape. Maybe gazing over the right arm. Maybe gazing at the ceiling, wherever your gaze is. Softening the eyelids. Making sure the neck is relaxed. Making sure everything's relaxed. On the next inhale, coming back to center. On the exhale, letting your knees splay open to the other side. And then deciding where your gaze will be. And just using the breath to soften wherever you can. One more inhale, coming back to center. As you exhale, extending your right leg, extending your left leg, letting your feet splay open to the sides. Bring your arms beside the body, palms turn up. And just start to drop into your Shavasana. Letting go of the practice, letting go of the breath. Taking a few moments of rest. Rest for the body and for the mind. Softening the jaw, facial muscles, eyelids, forehead, skin on your head. On the next inhale, starting to deepen the breath, bringing some movement to the fingers and the toes. Maybe reaching the arms up overhead and the legs down away from you. Taking a big breath into your lungs, filling them up. Exhaling out of the mouth. Slowly bending the knees and rolling over onto one side. Maybe bringing your ear to the arm underneath you. Take a moment to reflect on how your body's feeling compared to when we first started the class. No judgment, no criticism, just a reflection. Slowly start to lift yourself up into a seat, keeping the eyes closed if that feels good for you. And bringing your hands to heart center. Once again, noticing if you can connect with the heartbeat. If you're having trouble feeling it, you can take your first two fingers and just rest them under your chin. Maybe you'll feel the pulse there. This engine room of life force within us. Showing gratitude tonight for the bodies that we have and the ability to practice ancient art form called yoga, which delivers us new gifts every time we practice. From my heart to yours, thank you for practicing with me today. Together we say, Namaste.
I need to take step back to Melbourne, sister.